Hello everyone, and welcome back. This will be, another podcast, and I can't tell if I'm actually talking softer than the last one, or I'm talking in the same volume, but nonetheless, let's get to it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the fear of not knowing something. And this one, it goes more so for jobs or something like a commitment. And I know that from experience, it could be very scary going into a job or a something where it takes time to learn and you're not sure what to do. And I've always had this fear, and it's always been in the back of my head. And I always really wanted to know how to do a job before I even was trained. I just want to walk in there and do the job. I don't want to train. I don't want to annoy customers or annoy the employees. Like, this guy needs to get out of here. We'll go a lot faster without him. I always had the fear of that. I just want to go in and know something and do that job. And perhaps this will never really happen. Perhaps that you'll always be learning when you get a job or when you get something similar. And I think this fear went back to when so this is actually a funny story, not very serious. When I was back in high school, I belonged to a tennis team, and I was pretty awful at the tennis team. I did letter though the first year, and the only reason that was because the tennis team was very small, so I pretty much was forced to play single matches with other players who pretty much annihilated me. And I really had no experience in playing tennis, and I really wasn't good, but I somehow still lettered because the team was so small. But I never got a jacket. The jacket was like $100 to put the letter on, and I'm not going to be that kid that gets the jacket, wears it for 3 to 2 years, and then just have it hang in my closet for years to come. That's just kind of weird. Now that I think about it, I probably should have just sewed the letter on a plain jacket. I mean, that would just make everyone kind of mad, which I would think is funny, but that's just me. So anyhow, I was back in tennis, and I guess I didn't really care then if I knew how to do that. If I knew how to do tennis, I just joined the tennis team, and I hoped that I would catch up. So the fear wasn't in that itself. However, I think in the second year of tennis, when it got a little bit bigger, the school needed more money for the uniforms or the sport t-shirts for our team. So our coach told us to go and volunteer. And so, like a big dummy, I volunteered, and I was the only one to volunteer, I found out, or one of the only ones that volunteered. And I was pretty mad at that because I was probably the only one who knew nothing or very little about basketball. So I went and I volunteered my time to these basketball games. And the whole time I was thinking, I'm going to have to exchange and count money because I'm going to be selling food and items. But nay. I went there and I found out that I was going to keep score of a basketball game. And once I saw the score chart, I got a little anxious. And maybe I should say I got pretty anxious, not even a little. So I went up to one of these, actually, it was someone I knew in school. And I kind of asked her, I'm like, how the heck do you read this? Like, what do you do? Because there were so many little boxes and stuff, I have no idea what to put in. And she kind of taught me how to do it. But, like, I'm a more on experience guy. If you tell me how to do something, I'm likely going to do it wrong. I really just need to see how it's done. I need to do it. So I think my anxiety got pretty bad. And when I went to go do it, there were 2 other people there. I guess we exchanged, I believe, every game. And when it was my turn, I was a little freaked out. And there was a few issues with that. In there being, you have to mark who makes the basket. And if it's a 3-pointer, a 2-pointer, a 1-pointer, or something like that. And if they foul. So you have to mark all this stuff off. While this is happening, I have really bad hearing. And the referee, he's pretty much just, he's saying something, but I can't quite hear him over the voices. See, I have very bad hearing, and then I have very good hearing. So, for instance, my mom's ringtone, or her phone in general, it'll just start vibrating without a ringtone, and I'll hear it. And I'll hear it in another room. And I'll tell her, Mom, your phone's ringing. And she's like, how do you hear that? And I'm like, I don't know, I must have good hearing. But when it comes to other cases of people talking or stuff like that, I'm pretty bad at hearing. And even on the phone, I'm awful at hearing. And I kind of thought of it like this. Let's say you write down a word on a piece of paper, right? And let's say it's like Chuck E. Cheese or something, And then you just start scratching it away with a pen. Like you don't want it there anymore. But no matter how much you scratch, you can kind of make out Chuck E. Cheese still. Well, that's sort of like my hearing in a way. Because I can still hear that faraway phone ringing, even though it's so low. But if you were to write Chuck E. Cheese down, and then if you were to write a bunch of words on top of it, you really couldn't make out the word Chuck E. Cheese anymore. And that's more so the example of talking all around me while someone's trying to speak. So I just have a really bad time with that. And the referee was calling off all these things like, 23 foul. And it might sound easy as I'm saying it. It really wasn't, though. And I had coaches coming up to me asking me who had that 3-pointer. And I think, and this is never a good thing, I do not recommend doing this, but because I was pretty anxious and a little scared that I was going to get yelled at, yes, I know that's funny because I was volunteering. I think I lied a few times and I just gave a name because I really didn't know when he was talking about, and I didn't know who got the 3-pointer, probably because I didn't even know about basketball enough to know what a 3-pointer is. So I'm not sure who got the chart after, but it may have been very inaccurate. And I don't know what to say on that, but so yeah, that's pretty much where the fear of not knowing something and going into something and just like going right into it, it's a scary feeling, and it's a very I don't know, kind of just puts you down in a way. But yeah. So recently, I've been waking up at I have been waking up at 4:30, but since it was winter break, my friends wanted to do stuff later on in the day, and I couldn't wake up at 4:30 anymore. So now I'm trying to get back on that schedule, but I'm finding it increasingly difficult. And so far, I've managed to get up at 5:30, but that's still an hour away. I think this morning actually I got up at 6 because this is my long day. So I don't have a college class till 1 o'clock today. But anyway, I think it's really good to wake up early in the morning. You just feel better. You feel more alert to me. I mean, not as soon as you wake up. As soon as I wake up at any time early in the morning, I feel dead inside. And until I have my coffee, which I do make a nice French press in the morning, until I have my coffee, I can't really do much. So the first thing I do is make coffee, and then I go at it and I do something. Right now I'm doing a podcast, and it's 7:35 in the morning. Yeah, it's just nice. I mean, people look at me crazy when I say I wake up that early. But it's so much nicer because at nighttime, when you're trying to do something, you're just really tired. You're really unenthusiastic about whatever you're working on. And it's likely that you're just wanting to go to bed. And it feels pretty bad also when you wake up pretty late. You kind of feel groggy because you overslept, and the other thing is the day isn't as, I guess, long, especially in the winter because it turns dark really fast. But I don't know, I've been really liking waking up at 4:30. I've also been liking waking up or going to school early, around 8 o'clock, because that beats the rush and how many students are there. At 8 o'clock in the morning, my college is really uncrowded. I mean, it's very peaceful. Plus, you can get a seat, because once it hits like 9:30 to 10:40 or whatever, it's a nightmare. It's like I can't find a seat anywhere. So, yeah. Alright, so I do have my laptop in front of me with a few subjects I wrote down, and I'm not sure how I'm going to just jump in this next one. Sorry for the heater, by the way. Okay, so the next subject, and you're gonna laugh, is how to talk to women. So, to all my single men out there, no. Oh man, this is gonna be weird. So, how to talk to women. This is a serious, not issue, but question, I guess. I guess I'm gonna put it in a question form. I guess it already is in a question form, how to talk to women. What do I mean by this? You're probably asking yourself, Mike, have you ever talked to a girl? And yes, I have. I'm not that backwards. However, I'm talking about this. You're out in public, right? And you're at a store. Let's say you're at a grocery store. You're at a Target or a Barnes & Noble. Let's say you see, I guess I should say a girl. I don't know why woman sounds weird to say. I guess it's just because of my age. I don't know. Let's say you see someone though, right? And you have no idea who they are, but they look really pretty, but you don't know their personality. You don't know whether they're dating someone. How do you, as a human being, go up to someone and I guess nonchalantly trying to flirt? Although I don't want to flirt, ever. I really just want to go up to someone and make friends, But that's weird. Like, how does that work? Maybe I'm just really backwards, but I feel like there's no way to start that without making the other person very uncomfortable. And I don't like it. It's weird to think about. Like, how does this work? How does one go up to someone and just start talking? Like, that's kind of mind-boggling to me. Because if I were to put myself in a woman's shoes, or a girl's shoes, that does sound weird. I'm gonna say woman's, because girl sounds like she's younger than 18, and that's just gonna sound really creepy. So I'm gonna say woman. If I was in a woman's shoes, and if I was in a Barnes & Noble, let's say, and if I was checking out a book, and some guy came up to me and so he started talking, I think I'm going to think of two things. And those two things is, number one, this guy is obviously trying to flirt, or he's trying to get to know me, or something along that nature. Or number two, this guy is a major creep and I want to get away from him. Beyond that, I don't think there is a number three. I really don't. It's either one, this guy is trying to start a relationship, or he's trying to, whatever. Or number two, this guy is a creep and I don't want to be here. But I think number one is also along the lines of, I don't want to be here anymore. Which makes me really uncomfortable when someone says to me, hey Mike, you should go talk to her, It's like, yeah, okay, how do you do that? How do you not make someone feel uncomfortable? If you have an answer, please feel free to comment below. I am interested. I don't think it's a big deal with me. I'm just curious, because so many people, I feel, in your life, maybe in your life, just tell you to go up and talk to her or talk to him or whatever. But how does that work? I don't know. I'm confused. I'm going to get on to the next subject. The next subject being college. Fun. College is a very fun topic because I can probably talk about it. Or maybe I should say I could probably talk a bunch of crap about it all day long. And if my heater would be so kind to shut up. So, college. I'm guessing you college students who are listening to this bought your textbook, or you rented it. I'm really hoping you rented it, unless you plan on using it again, because buying a textbook on a college campus is very similar to cutting off your hand and giving it to a surgeon and asking, how much would you like to charge for this, because they are outrageously priced. I once walked past a book in that place, and it was like $400 for a chemistry book. I was in a chemistry class once, and once I saw the price on that, I said to myself, either I am going to rent this book somehow, or I'm not going to get this book, because I am not willing to put that kind of money out for that thing. However, there is one way colleges can get you with these awful prices, and that's by putting a digital code in the back of the book so you can access something online. And most college professors will say, there's a textbook you need, but you can't rent it, and you can't buy the used ones because it has a code. and the code you have to have for this class. And then you're basically at the mercy of the price, which can be whatever it wants. I mean, I guess with reason. I don't think anyone's going to label a book to be $1,000, but I honestly don't doubt it anymore. Wow, that was a loud heater. So yeah, textbooks are priced pretty bad. Now, this may be gross to some of you when I say this next thing, but when I went up to a vending machine, I was shocked and very surprised. I was looking through the options, and I was looking at the top row. It was a bunch of chips, and on the second row there was a bunch of Pop-Tarts and a lot of things to eat. And on the very bottom row there's this a selection of gum, which usually I get just because I naturally have bad breath, I think. But on the third row, I was very surprised to see that there were tampons in the vending machine. Now, please tell me if this is not weird, and I'm just talking about this because I find it extraordinarily weird. But should there be tampons, and yes, I do say tampons, in a vending machine that is 99% food? And I'm not sure how accurate that percentage is, but everything else was edible. And then there was just these random tampons on the third row. And I don't know why I'm mentioning this, but I just found that really weird. But anyhow, let's get on to another topic. Oh boy, I can talk about college all day. I mean, the buildings alone are just awful, especially those few. I feel like every college has those few buildings that are just really bad shape, or really bad in shape. I know our math building is really bad, and I never want to go back to that place, although I do, to get a math minor. But it's really falling apart. I mean, oh man, I gotta sit up for a second. Our math building, if you go into a bathroom, there's a very good chance. Now, I haven't been in there for a year or so, but from what I remember, and what it probably still is if you go into any bathroom, it's likely that it's going to be missing tiles to it, and that there's going to be a weird goo in the ceiling, and it's likely that the paper towel dispenser sometimes doesn't work well, or that the sinks run like crazy. Like when you turn it on even a little bit, the faucet just rapidly gets out this water, and it feels like it shouldn't do that. Or you know what, I'm gonna jump to another subject that I actually had on this somewhere. Oh, it actually is in this category. Good. So let me just say something. And with these podcasts, or with these videos, or with this talking, or whatever this is called, I'm speaking for you. I'm speaking for the people, hopefully, or I'm just talking for myself. But for this subject, I don't know if I already discussed this in another video. I have no idea. But let me just say something about bathrooms at colleges. I don't know if this goes for the women. I have no idea. But at least for me, and for the men, whenever I go into a bathroom, there is always, and I'm saying 95% of the time, there is always another person who is in the stall, and it makes me really frustrated. Now, this is maybe just my frustration, but I don't know how to put this. I really, really, really enjoy. I mean, there's things in life that we just take for granted. And there's things in life that we hold really dear to our hearts, okay? Maybe it's waking up to a cup of coffee. I know that's pretty dear to me. However, I have another thing that I hold pretty dear to me, and it's going to the bathroom alone. Now, you may be laughing at this, but when you go to the bathroom alone, I feel like there is no pressure on you. Because usually the people in the stall, whether they are sleeping or doing something else, they're very quiet. And when I'm doing my own business, okay, first of all, I never use the stalls, okay? I don't do, this is getting really gross, I just realized. I don't do that stuff in public, okay? I just don't. Usually I have to go number one. Okay, I don't want to get in detail with this. I'm just saying that it's incredibly nice to have the bathroom to yourself. You don't feel rushed. You take your time. Maybe you look in the mirror and fix your hair, or maybe you rinse out your coffee cup. But for me, at least, I feel that when someone else is in the bathroom with you, and you know they're going to be in there for the remainder of the time, or longer than you are, you almost feel a rush, a sense of, I want to get out of here to give this person privacy. Maybe I am completely off my rocker with that one, but I really enjoy, I guess not enjoy, I find it very pleasing to go to the bathroom and have no one in there, so I can take my time. Maybe even to check my teeth. You know, are they yellow this morning, or do I need to comb my hair, or I like to take my time in there. And when someone's already in there, you kind of feel rushed, and that's all I really have to say for that. What else? Do you guys ever get the temptation to get coffee out of the house? For, I guess, coffee goers. This is just for the coffee lovers out there, but it's kind of weird because even if you make your own coffee in your own mug, for some reason there's the weird temptation to want to get a coffee on the go. And I'm not sure why. Maybe I have a few theories to this. Maybe because, number one, it breaks that same schedule. And you know how college can be very repetitious. Well, maybe it does break that schedule of like, okay, I'm not gonna go sit there and read a book. I'm gonna go somewhere. I'm gonna get myself a coffee. I'm going to enjoy doing something else instead of doing the same thing. So that's my first theory. The second theory is maybe we as humans like it because it's a social norm. Maybe it's because, and this is pretty deep. I don't know if there's any psychiatrists listening out there. Hopefully there's not, because that'd be pretty scary. But maybe we just get coffee out because we look a certain way when we do it, which is a weird thing to think about, but maybe it is because we don't want a cup of coffee, but we want that experience. We want that norm. We want maybe it's relaxing, maybe it's relaxing to just make yourself a cup of coffee in the cafe and go pay for it. Maybe it just relaxes you, but maybe it's also the experience of just getting a coffee. I mean, I definitely can see that, because when you're waiting in line and when you're waiting for your coffee to be made, or if you get to make your coffee, I find it pretty relaxing, and I find it very unjarring. And I don't think of school anymore. I think about that cup of coffee. And until I'm sitting down with it, I don't really feel much of a rush or a stress with schoolwork and stuff. Because I know once I drink this cup of coffee that my brain is going to be working a lot better. So I don't know. It's weird though, because even if I, at least, make a cup of coffee, put it in a thermos, and it's hot for hours, I don't find much enjoyment in that, rather than going to somewhere to buy or make myself a coffee. And that's kind of weird. But I don't know. It's just like a really quick thought, I guess. So I guess you guys have seen Aquaman, maybe. Maybe you hate superheroes. I don't know. I don't judge. I saw Aquaman, and I actually really, really enjoyed it. And it was very visually awesome. I mean, I love the visual experience of that movie. The plot wasn't too strong. The characters, they were good, but the visuals in that were spectacular. And there were moments where you're like, oh man, I'm geeking out. And I really, really enjoyed it. And I've come to the conclusion now that going to movie theaters is no longer enjoyable for me. And it's really because the people you sit around. And our theater even has those really comfy chairs that can recline. And I actually don't really care for it that much, because after a while it starts hurting my neck. But they're really comfy chairs, and the surround system is good, and the big screen is really cool. I prepay my tickets to get really good seats. But the only thing that really ruins it for me is the people I sit around. And I think I'm overly sensitive to that, which is really bad, because I was even getting annoyed at this one guy who was breathing through his nose really hard. And I don't know, it started really bugging me. Like, after I realized he was breathing through his nose really hard, I noticed that, and I couldn't stop noticing that. And there's definitely past experiences where it was worse. Like someone was opening a full course meal behind me, and it just started getting really, really annoying with all the wrapping, and like, I don't know if they cooked themselves dinner and brought it to the movies, or I don't know. I don't even know how you can hide all that. But it even smelled like they were eating chicken wings. And I don't think movie theaters should serve much of anything anymore. It's getting ridiculous. Even with popcorn. Popcorn can be very annoying, especially with my friends. I mean, they get popcorn and they eat it through the whole movie somehow, and you always think, oh man, they're gonna run out. They're gonna run out, and then you won't hear them chewing anymore. You won't hear the popcorn bag anymore. But somehow it lasts a ridiculous amount of time. And I don't really buy popcorn, and I think mainly because it's as bad as college textbooks. Maybe a little bit better in price, but it can be ridiculous with the prices in movie theaters, with the snacks and everything. But yeah, I do like their popcorn. I'm not gonna lie, movie theater popcorn is definitely a thumbs up for me. But I don't know, even with the candy, it's like that makes noise too. And people talk, or people unknowingly make noises, like, you know how I had noticed middle-aged women really like making noises during the movie, like they'll just do like what do you call those, oxymorons? And wait, I forget what you call them, like comic book, like, you know, where they go ah, where they go they make just the sort of those noises, and it just kind of gets annoying after a while. And I really started noticing middle-aged women are really big on doing that. And then there's kids. Kids are very annoying sometimes. They talk, or they're always laughing, or they're looking on their cell phones, and it's really annoying. And then there's other people. I felt bad for this one guy, but it also started really annoying me because he was really, really big. I mean, he was obscenely big. And I know people get really offended by people saying other people are bigger. But listen, there comes to a point where you will have to be concerned with that person's weight. It's definitely not healthy. I mean, we shouldn't body shame or whatever it is, but we should also help the person, definitely. I mean, if they're having trouble breathing, and if they're having issues with food, and if they're having health issues in general, we should get them help. We shouldn't just pretend that everything is okay. And this person in the movie theater, he sat next to me and my mom, because yeah, I do take my mom to superhero movies. She actually really likes them. She really geeks out. She really geeks out with me. I mean, I don't know. It's just something we do. And this one guy sat next to us, like 10% into the movie or whatever, or 10 minutes in or whatever it was. He comes up the aisle with this large popcorn, which, you know, I'm not judging, but he sits right next to us, or somewhere in the vicinity of us, and it was pretty annoying. I'm not gonna lie. He was breathing like he ran a marathon. Like his heart must have been jumping out of his chest. While that was happening, while he was breathing really heavy, like he ran a race, he was eating popcorn, and I think with his mouth open, and like rummaging through it. And my mom just gave me that look, and it was just a very unpleasant experience. And I think that was for Civil War, the Captain America Civil War, which was a pretty good movie. And it just ruined the entire experience. And I believe he did go up to get more popcorn. Like halfway in the movie, he ate a large popcorn, and he went to go back and get some. And his breathing really calmed down. But when he came back, the noise he made in that theater was just amazing. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I just don't understand. I don't want to judge someone, and I don't judge people, and I don't want to, I certainly don't want to make fun of that person, but I think everyone should be aware of what they are doing. And for instance, if you are like that, and if you are making that much noise, I feel bad, but it's like, I don't know. It's just really, really distracting the whole time. And you don't want to go and get someone in the theater and say, hey, there's this guy, he's making all this noise, but it's really not his fault. You know, maybe he has a disorder. Maybe he has a mental disability. I don't know this guy, so therefore I'm not going to judge him. Maybe he was purposely making that noise. Maybe he was absolutely not purposely making that noise. Maybe he was just hungry. Maybe he was just really excited for the movie. I don't know. Maybe he was really unhealthy. Maybe he was absolutely healthy, but just from the look of it, you can kind of tell and make assumptions that this guy really wasn't healthy. And, that's the people you have to worry about. You can't judge and you can't make fun of them. But at the same time, they do need help. Because being that big is not good for you. I don't care what anyone says. Health is a very big thing. And, yeah. So I think I'm going to stop there, even though I have more subject material. So I have no idea how long this is going to be. I have no idea. I'm kind of scared to look at how long this is going to be. But hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully you are informed, I guess. Hopefully you are laughing, or maybe you're mad, or something. Hopefully you're not mad. I didn't mean to offend if I did, or even gross you out. I may have grossed you out, if anything. But again, I try talking for the people. I'm not the person to fake what I think. And, like talk about my dog, like talk about the issues that are common sense. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you enjoy this. I'm not sure when I'm going to post this. And therefore I'm not going to tell you what day I did this, because it'll probably be embarrassing. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you for listening. And I hope you tune in later. See ya.